All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to building a Laravel project from scratch, what I'm calling Project A. It stood for Project Ashley, I suppose. It was kind of like a Christmas gift, a little Christmas surprise. So those that have watched before, some of the streams before, you probably have seen it, but basically it was this concept of like a photo sharing app, but more like in a private capacity for a small event. For example, what brought it about was when Ashley and I had our wedding, she was just kind of saying, oh man, it'd be neat like if we got to see all the pictures that other people took. Like obviously we had a professional photographer, but it would be nice to see the pictures that other people took on their cameras that day. And of course, you could create a hashtag and put them on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever you share your photos. If everyone had an iPhone, you could create a shared album in, iPhoto or whatever, the Photos app. And it was just one of those things where I was like, yeah, that'd be so easy to like just have a site that did that. Like instead of having to find your photos on all these other places, like just a site that put it out there. And, there are a few that exist, but I was just kind of saying that'd be super, super straightforward to build if you just kind of built the sharing aspect. And she was like, you can build that, and you know how it is as a programmer. Your partner or whatever doesn't maybe always know exactly what you do or don't do, or family or friends are asking you like, what's your job? Or you meet people, and it's just like you can't really tell them like, oh, I build Laravel applications. Like they're just not going to understand what all that means. So anyway, this was an opportunity to, kind of show Ashley what I could build. So that's where this came about. Now, honestly, I did some stuff, I think, to kind of get this working to demo to her on Christmas. But I kind of don't, I kind of haven't worked on it since then, so I don't remember. I don't remember all the things I've kind of done to it since then. So today is going to be recapping, getting back on the project. So if you haven't seen any of the previous streams, don't worry about it. You're probably going to be able to catch up today as I catch up myself on kind of looking through these changes and getting things to work. And then hopefully I know that the authorization sections need to be kind of cleaned up. So we'll try to work on that a little bit today, but today might just be a 30 or 40-minute stream to recap and kind of get these changed files cleaned up, because again, some of the stuff was probably a little hacky. So let's do my favorite little command, git add-p, to patch these up. And let's kind of just see what all I changed here. So I added an attendee. Other, that's kind of strange. Some strange wording. Oh, I was demoing this the other day. Okay, so no. No. Probably yes on, or well, no on that. Actually, I think I was messing around with this as well. Let's not worry about Composer getting built out. What is this? URL, photos, visibility, public. What is this about? I think I symlinked these photos to make them easy to see when I was demoing it, but I don't think I want those changes. So I'm going to say no here. I probably want the update to the events table seeder, so we'll say yes. I think I just changed the homepage, to kind of make a headline to demo what's going on here. Let's see here. And I made this a clickable link to log in, just to kind of make the application flow a little better. What else did I change? Looks like I took event sign in and made it a view. Why did I do that? Oh, I was trying. Yeah, I don't think I want any of this. I'd actually written a view helper in the process of working on this live stream. I had written a route view and PR'd it into. Oh crap! I'm gonna have all my. I didn't realize Chrome wasn't open. All right, give me a second here. This is going to This is going to show everything. Let's show me for a second before I open up like a banking site or something. Okay, let me get to the right spot here. Laravel framework. Let me close these other tabs at least. Okay, sorry about that. Don't have to look at me anymore. Here we go. Let's go back to the sharing of the screen. Oh, hey everybody. Yeah, hey Samuel. How do we say? Is it Gershon? 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 I don't know. I'm trying. Hello. Hey Will, how's it going? Karul? I don't know. Not good at some of these names. Sorry about that. How did the demo go? It went well. She was actually pretty impressed, which was kind of the main goal. But I think she's also interested in maybe trying to have me finish it out. So that's what these next few streams will be. Just get it in a little more working order so she can see it. It was still just a bit raw, a little more raw than I thought. Again, my goal was kind of to try to build it, you know, in a week or so. And I think I got pretty far based on some of those earlier live streams, but, you know, wasn't all the way done. It's not merged, actually. It was closed. Let me bring this up to show you. A lot of my recent ones have been closed, unfortunately. It was this one. So the goal was to create this, and instead of having to write this, so notice in this, I have to do a closure, I have to implicit model bind event, and then I have to pass it into the view. What I PR'd was the ability to do this all with the view helper, where parameters that could be guessed if you will, or implicit model bindings parameters would be matched up automatically and passed into the view. So this would be a shorthand you could write to, instead of having to write this, and it would all just magically work inside of Laravel. So it got some recognition, but I think Taylor didn't like that I was reaching out into the app helper in one of the changes that I had to make. It was kind of low level, so I totally understand what he was getting at and kind of pointing out the one-liner here. In fairness, this doesn't really scale. You have to have PHP 8. Like, obviously, this is much cleaner, but it is a fair point. I mean, it already is pretty compact to write if you wanted in this capacity. So anyway, that's long way around to say that's why these changes are here. So I actually don't want any of these changes. And that's everything. So really, what did I take here? Public photos, testing blade. I think I was just messing around here. So let's just see. I might need to get rid of all this. Get diff -w staged. So I'm bringing in the attendee, even though I don't ever seem to be using it. I'm bringing in the model. I don't know why. Easy photo management. Yeah, so I think everything else is just spacing. I think this photos controller probably doesn't need to be done. So I'm just going to say unstage that. GST get commit -m. I'm just going to whip this for now, and then I'm going to nah the rest of this stuff because I don't think any of that is necessary. Okay, so with no more messing around, let's do MFS. So migrate fresh seed. Database seeder doesn't exist. Oh yeah, I was doing a custom seeder. I think it was like demo seeder. Yeah, there it is. So you can call fresh and pass a specific seeder, otherwise it runs the database seeder. So we're doing that now to get the events. And now I should be able to do PHP artisan serve, bring it up locally, and let's go ahead and bring up PHP storm. And let's go kind of take a peek. I don't know why my system's so laggy right now. Oh, that's ugly. What's that about? Must be DDing something somewhere. Must have left a DD in the code. Let's find out where I did that. So let's bring up project A. And again, we're just going to kind of start using the app and see kind of the first thing that I break. Okay, so it seems like I left in some order by stuff here, which I probably don't want. Where am I DDing? DD event. Okay, so it's not there. It's in the storage facade, but that shouldn't be a problem. Attendee? Nope. Okay. I don't know what I'm DDing here. Let's PHP artisan view clear, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's just make sure it wasn't one of those cached views. All right, let's bring this back up. Okay, so clearly I'm DDing something out in the code somewhere. Let's find out where. This should be hitting the home controller, I think, which just goes down to view home. So home.blade. Definitely not DDing anything up here. Am I DDing anything in? Nope. Very strange. Okay. Okay, somewhere I gotta be DDing something or dumping something. What's going on here? DD in project. There are no places in PHP code where I am DDing. Am I dumping? Dump errors in event, that's fine. Var dump statements, there's nowhere I'm doing any of that stuff. So maybe I've hacked the routes somehow. Let's go look at the web. What did I do here? Home / goes to home controller. Let's beat the DD and figure out where it is. Here I am. Okay, so it's pretty high up. Oh, you know what it is? I was using this as a test to break up. Yeah, I was using this as a test to kind of work on that route view thing within an app. I sim linked my version of the framework locally in the vendor folder. So I just need to run composer update. I think those DDs were really low in the Laravel framework. So let's just reinstall everything so we know I wasn't messing around in that folder with anything. Just take a second. And let's serve again, and hopefully, there we go. So easy photo sharing on your big day. Okay, so obviously the marketing side of this is not done, and that's where I would tap Ashley to, that's going to be her part to work on if she wants. So I will at least finish this out functionally just to be complete with these streams. So if I go to get started, I should be able to sign in to the account. Again, marketing might be a little bit off, but the point is I should be able to sign in. So let's go to my user table seeder, and it looks like it's just my email address with password. So let's make sure I can log in. Password, I'm gonna sign in. Okay, cool. Obviously that's an insecure password. So let's never remember that. Okay, so again, here is some of the work I probably did off stream. I just pulled this stuff from Tailwind UI components to kind of get all this working, and I think this was the page I was listing out kind of all the photos, which is why I simmed link those file systems. But this should allow you to tap into one of these now, and you get kind of a console action here. Again, a little bit more marketing needs to be done, a little bit more UI, but the point is your photos would appear here. Just kind of little thumbnails of them. Obviously, you'd be able to click one of these and go deeper, and then you'd be able to kind of search attendees here for Ashley. Now, again, this doesn't necessarily work. Might be something we do in a future stream, but I just found, again, some UI that I wanted from Tailwind UI. So, and, this is somewhat accurate, this is coming up 3 days from now, this happened in the past, yada yada. Some of this code is built out, so I'm not going to worry about this too much. So let's go to edit. So edit doesn't go anywhere right now. It's also like a phone, which is kind of strange. So let's back up a second. So I feel like we need a little bit of a create button here or something. So right now, again, I'm not going to worry too much about the UI. I tend to do the UI stuff off stream because I just get a little picky on what I want, and nobody wants to watch me mess with a button size for 10 minutes to get it right. So let's add the create, make sure create's working. Let's kind of focus on events again. Let's go down the line here and kind of clean things up as we're using the application. So I'm going to go to the event controller, and we're on the index page. Let's get down into event index. I'm not sure why that's not auto-completing. Index blade, there's event. It lists out all the events here. So let's just throw a real simple link up here above the list. So BG shadow rounded, so that's this. So we probably want it above that. So for now, again, we'll just do a little paragraph tag and a little link. Href equals, this will be the route for event.create, and this will just be create an event or add an event, maybe. Yeah, see, this is why I don't do it on stream. Okay, pretty ugly, so let's at least give it some styling. So let's just say class equals text purple and hover underline. And we'll give this just a bit of padding so we can, you know, kind of see it. So let's just give it a margin of, or margin, top and bottom margin of 10, just to kind of offset it here. And what did I mess up here? It doesn't seem to be liking our text purple. Maybe text purple is not the right thing. my10 should work. Let's text right. Refresh this. There we go. I don't know why I needed a hard refresh. Oh, I think Tailwind auto purges stuff now in Tailwind 3. So I'm not getting that, and I'm not running watch in the background probably like I should. So that's why that's not getting all those styles. But anyway, add event shows up now. So let's make sure we can add an event. So we'll just say something like Laravel 9 release. How about that? That's supposed to be 01/25. That'll be next week, 2022. And it doesn't necessarily have a time. We'll just say noon. All right, cool. And we got this project A event. We'll call it L9 release. That's fun. And let's make sure I can upload a picture. So I just got some kind of screenshot here. That's fine. Okay, so notifications would be, yeah, this is actually, again, I kind of tweaked this wording appropriately. So I don't want any notifications, and let's just make this event only for me. Create event. Cool, it kicked us right to the L9 release. So that's good. Laravel 9 release, January 25th. No time on there, so that maybe we could clean up. And then again, this is all just placeholder bit. So let's keep track of some of these things. Is there a README? There is a README. This is just the Laravel README. So let's just make a little to-do list here. So we'll say edit event, and then we probably want to start making this dynamic. So content, so edit.show content, or dynamic content. All right, so we want this to be actually what it is. So if there's no photos, you know, we probably want a little empty area here that's like add a photo. And if you don't have any attendees, we should probably be like upload your guest list. So things like that. So let's start working on this. So let's get this edit button to work. And like I said, I'll just keep hacking along here for another 20 minutes or so. So let's go back to our event controller. And let's go to show, I guess. Yeah, again, not sure why those aren't showing up for me. I've had, ever since I upgraded PHP Storm, I've had some issues with like Laravel. It doesn't really seem to pick up all the stuff the old one did. Anyway, we got a button here. Probably doesn't need to be a button in fairness. Let's make that an anchor and see what happens. And let's change its href to be route, and this will be event.edit and our event, of course. All right, let's see if that cleans me up. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we have an ability to edit the event at the time being. So let's make this happen. And there we have it. There is no edit. All right, so I'm going to bring in the create form just to kind of get things started. And let's work on pre-filling this data back in here, making sure this is right. So let's just take a sec to do this. I might not do all of them because again, this is kind of tedious changes, but let's just do a few here. So let's just do value. These always get so long when you're working with Tailwind. Not necessarily knocking it. I know some people like break these attributes down like multiple lines like you would like a chained bit of code. I just haven't gotten used to that yet. So some people do like, you know, this. So it makes it a lot easier to read, I guess. So, okay, so this is probably old and it's going to be name, I think. I always forget how the old helper works. So it's key and then it's default. And its default would be, of course, event name. So we need to make sure to pass in that here, which we are. So, or well, we are down here. So that should be good. So let's just make sure this is kind of working the way we expect. There we go, Laravel 9 release, awesome. You know, I don't know for like a timestamp, like a date time attribute, like I don't know how that actually works. Can you just plug in like the value and it knows to do it? It probably has to be like in a certain time. I bet you that it has to be like a certain time frame. So let's call this starts at, and for now, let's just try to put in starts at. Just curious. Does it magically work? It does not. So it is dumping the value in there, which is nice, but it doesn't seem to be in a format that it understands. So we'll probably need to fix that. Let's just keep going though on a couple of these and then we'll come back and look that up. Hello, value equals that. Oops, I already had the whole thing in my paste buffer. So this is slug. Photo is going to be an interesting one to mess with. Yeah, these notification ones aren't too bad. Value is fine here. Checked is what matters. So we would need to wrap this in a little if. It's like, or well, how could we do this? It's kind of weird. I think you can still use old, but we have to compare this now, I think. Yeah, the value is 1 or 0. Yeah, you'd have to compare it to like what the value is supposed to be. Yeah, value 2. This gets a little junky. And then it's kind of like which one's the default. Ugh. I hate messing with checkboxes. Okay. So you basically have to say old notification summary. And then you would like compare this probably loosely to the value of 1. And if it was, then it's checked. Otherwise, it's nothing. I'm sure there's probably a cleaner way to do that, but that does work. So let's close that up the right way now. And I think, but the catch now would be like, you'd have to also say like, or, you know, that's null or something, and then it's the default. But one of these should always be checked. So I don't think we have to worry about that default case right now. So let's just plug this in, plop in a 2 here, and we'll plug this in and plop in a 0. And oh crap, those aren't event names, these are notifications. Whoops. Let's fix that. So oops, no, I'm not gonna be able to fix it that way, crap. All right, so this and this. Why did it take that? I tell you, tough day. I'm here in the chat. Let me just get a little farther here. Okay, so we said none, and we got to do it down here. So that did seem to work. We're getting this in here. So let's finish up for visibility, and then we'll get this plugging in right, and I think that's good enough. We'll just make sure it saves for now, because I'm going to change a lot of these other forms to kind of probably start using Livewire. I like to, hopefully we'll do that in one of the streams later this week. So let's just drop this stuff in down here. So we've got 2, and this is called visibility now, so that and that. And let's copy this now, and we'll drop out that checked, and we'll drop this in here. And this is 0, and this will be 1. Oh, not that, 1. There we go. Or no, sorry, that was 2. Did I get that wrong? This one's, they're both 2? That can't be right. Yeah, that's a mistake. Let's fix that. Let's make sure that was the same down here. Am I crazy? Only you can see the photos as 0. 1 would be attendees only, and 2 is public. I think that's kind of the, so 0, 1, and 2. Yeah, okay, so this is just wrong. So 0, 1, and 2. 2 and 2. All right, cool. That should be correct now. What is going on here? Close. Close. What did I open? There we go. Okay, so only you. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Default value for slug is name instead of slug. Oh, thanks. Good catch. You can also check if the session contains the value. You can also check if this, I'm not sure, sorry, I didn't check the chat right away. I'm not sure what that means or pertains to. All right, let's fix this. Okay, Laravel 9 release, good. So let's get this working, and then I think we'll just make sure this submits to the right location, of course. So let's go ahead and drop that in here with event update, and of course the event itself. And then let's check HTML date, time, value, format. There we go. I'm not the first person to search for this. Awesome. So date, okay, the time and date local input type support this. All right, cool. So the format seems good. What does the value need to be? So I think we're pretty good. I think our time is probably what's throwing it off. Using date inputs. Where's time? Time, maybe? Oh, here we go. Date local time. Okay, needs to be a timestamp afterward. Okay. Well, value, DOM stream or empty. All right, value, local date time streams, date format, date time local. Ah. So how could we get a timestamp? HTML date and time strings. Yeah, I guess you have to use like a Zulu kind of thing here. Okay, so let's go out to Carbon PHP date time format. I'm sure they have like a, I think they just use the Laravel or the PHP defaults. Why won't this scroll? Their sidebar is not really scrolling very well. String formatting. There we go. I was hoping to see a quick one for the like raw time or like 2 JavaScript time, but it doesn't look like they have a handy one. Timestamp, maybe? Common formats, here we go. Yeah, there we go, 2 atom string. What's the difference between 2 atom string? Be aware to choose the full text in ISO natively is not compatible. Okay. 2 JSON, probably don't need that, that's a bit explicit. There's that Zulu one I was after. To date time local string, oh, I like that. I like that, let's use that. I like that just because it pairs up nicely with this datetime local bit here. It just kind of reads well. So let's just do that, and let's see if this works. All right, refresh. Hey, there it is. Okay, so let's try to edit this. So I'm just gonna, we'll move the release date. We'll move the release date back a day and make it at 1 a.m. 1:01 a.m. How about that? Cool. And we'll make it Laravel 9 release 2 and just all the stupid little stuff you would expect here. So let's move this to uploads in public. And that probably shouldn't say create event. Let's just have this say update event. I'm not going to refresh the page, but let's just call it update event. And boom. Okay, post methods not supported. Oh, of course. Duh. Thought I was missing something. So we need to say at method put. Let's go back and refresh, unfortunately. All right, let's redo this. So 2 and 26 and 1:01 a.m. Or well, you know what? Let's make it February 2nd. That's fun. 02:02:02. Laravel release 2. Not going to worry about a photo. Okay, we got an error message. User ID. User ID field is required. Why would the user ID field be pulling out? It already has a user ID, and only the user can edit it. So this is probably an issue on this side of the fence. Yeah, let's clean this up. Yeah, user ID isn't part of it. But these other things are. So let's go ahead and let's bring in notifications and visibility here. So this is notifications. I think I added these after the fact. So we got required. I think Boolean is what you say. Visibility. All right, and let's make sure these are also for the event store. Yes, we are. Rule in. Oh, there we go. Even better. So we did add them for that, but not for the event update. So let's fix that. So they're required. They're in one of those values. And let's go ahead and bring in the avatar too. If it's uploaded, it does the right thing. And then starts at doesn't seem to have any restrictions. Probably ought to put a restriction in there that's a future date. So these are actually, it's actually the same rule set. So I could probably look into refactoring and just reusing this as like a save, but you never know when they have different abilities. So it looks like it retained everything, so that's a good use of our old, all the values were preserved. Oh, except for uploads, that's weird. Let's check that out. That should have said uploads. Did I get this wrong again? Notifications, notifications 2, notifications 1, notifications equals 0. Huh, I don't know why it did that. I'm gonna assume it was maybe a bit of a fluke. So let's update the event. There we go, Laravel release 2, February 2nd. And I'm sure the other pieces are good. Let's check it. Yes, uploads got preserved this time. So I think maybe I just didn't check that properly last time. Laravel 2, all that's getting put in right. Okay, so I think edit's pretty good. Let's see what's next. Next we need like, let's look at this guest list for a second. And I think I'll probably end there today. I know I built this. So let's go back to our controllers. Register attendees, here we go. Invoke. Validate the input, yes, okay, so see, this is to do. I should have just looked at all the to do's in the application. Let's go back to web routes. And this is where I was doing that view thing, I think, was, yeah, the attendees just went to attendee register for the specific event. So for now, let's just go to attendee. Attendees is what I meant to say. Okay, so again, this is pretty ugly. I should probably focus on making that prettier, so let me put that on my notes. I'll try to do some of this prettiness tonight. So I think edit event is fine. Or well, no, edit event or event edit. This needs to be avatar display. I think everything else is okay though. So edit show dynamic content, and then we have attendee dot register form UI. Okay, so this just needs to be cleaned up. But for now, let's get it working. So let's throw a DD here for request, validated. I guess nothing's validated, so let's just say request all for now. And I think the goal here was to say something like Jason McCreary and Jess Archer and, you know, Ashley Disler, just whoever's going to show up. Okay, so we get everything we need. Cool. And we're going to preg split those out. We're going to loop over those and create them. Oh, this was one of the, I remember now, this was one of the bigger aspects for the event. Okay, let's talk about this, and maybe this is what I'll work on tomorrow. Cool. Hey, Austin. Yes, my README files are basically reminders of things to do. It's poor developers, you know, bug tracker or issue list or whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's back up for a second and talk about this at a high level, if I can tab correctly. So the goal of the attendee list is the attendee list that basically acts like invites for the system. It's not necessarily going to email people, but when you're at an event, let's say you're at this Laravel 9 release party, and you've been listed as a guest, as an attendee, you're on the guest list. That now gives you access to upload photos. Now, previously, I was thinking of this in a very normalized capacity. Obviously, Jess Archer may be at multiple Laravel release parties, and as such, she could be an attendee for those over time, and I would just link them to the event, you know, kind of through the table. But here's the thing. There might be more than one Jess Archer in the world. There's probably more than one. In fact, I know there's more than one Jason McCreary in the world. In fact, there is one here in Louisville. We ran into each other once. It was pretty funny. It was kind of like the Spider-Man meme. It was like, you're Jason McCreary. It was pretty nuts. Anyway, the point is there are multiple people with this name in the world. So the normalization probably isn't going to work out so well. Probably what I need to do is deal with a little bit of replication in the fact that these should just be tied directly to the event. There shouldn't be a bridge table. There should really be, like, instead of linking the event through the attendees, I should really just be saying, like, event ID here to be, you know, for that event that gets passed in. And really this should be more like attendee create. Now, this is going to take a little reworking of the system, but now I can do some kind of uniqueness on that as an index, and that way I know that the person of that name should be that in the system that way. Should they register as full users? No, that was just kind of a convenience. You can be both in the system for now. Again, this may be a bad choice later. I don't want people to have to like sign in, you know, with a username and password. I want to make it frictionless, right? I don't want it to be hard. Ideally, if you were really going to use this, you would be at the event. You know, you'd be able to scan some kind of QR code, or there'd be some link or something, or some shared, you know, iPad or whatever it is, where like people could just take this picture and instantly upload it through the web app. They don't need to necessarily like get a username and password and confirm their email identity and all that crap. Like they can just go to this screen. They can say, "Oh, I'm Jess Archer." They're gonna have like, you know, a coded URL appear, you know, with a signature, like a temporary URL. I think we built that a couple weeks ago in one of the streams. But like the combination of that, in my mind, is secure enough. So I don't want to have to make everyone that attends a wedding or a birthday party or whatever it is be a user of the system. It's just too heavy in my mind from a UX. If I were really going to use this and I were going to use it at a party, I wouldn't want to have to sign up and give my email address to some system I don't know. Like, I'd love to be able to just say, "Hey, you're attending the Laravel 9 release party. Sign in to the guest, you know, list or whatever." And it's like, you know, whatever. And if they're not on the guest list, then maybe they can upload anonymously or something, and that photo goes to like a temporary location. And that's kind of, just backing up a second, that's kind of where these come into play, this visibility. Like if you say only you know, no one's ever going to see these photos that get uploaded. So, you know, really the dangerous one would be public, right? So there is some control over all this. And these are the pieces that are left to build. So kind of going back to that guest list. Ideally, we would want to insert these into the database, but I've found that they need to be event specific. They can't be shared or normalized, if you will, anymore, just because there's multiple Jess Archers in the world, there's multiple Ashleys, multiple Jasons, blah, 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 blah. So let's spend a few minutes getting that right, and then I'll probably finish that off stream so we can actually focus on the authorization bits tomorrow. So let's just go look at these models for a second. Right now, just fillable name. Obviously, an attendee has many photos that are uploaded, and they belong to many events. I think we probably just want to make this a belongs to relationship and deal with the denormalized database. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to just add a little cast here for event ID as an integer, and then let's go to the database tables. So events, or sorry, attendees, or did we call it guests? No, we call it attendees. So here we're going to add a foreign ID for event ID, and then we're no longer going to need that table that was generated for us. So we no longer need this table. And now events should be unaffected. Cool. I don't know why that wasn't foreign ID. Let's go ahead and change that while we're in here. And then this takes care of the normalization. They still have many photos. And then you still belongs to an event, not events. Okay, so to that point, let's see if we were referencing that anywhere. Doesn't seem like we were. Okay, so that should be fine. Let's look at the event model. Let's just tear this down real quick again. So that's the order by, that's the user, that's attendee. So this just changes to a has many. And that'll get pulled out on the other side. And let's just see if we were referencing this anywhere. Attendees, and we were. So authenticated for events. So we do have some authentication. Again, we'll need to look at this. So yeah, we'll need to look through this, but I think we can now probably, we can now probably check this in a different kind of way. We would just check the event or the attendee table like directly. So I'll leave that for tomorrow. Let's not get into that. Let's get into the seeder though. Events table seeder, upcoming. I don't think I do anything with attendees in here. No, I don't. So what I'm gonna do is kill this, let's just do a migrate fresh demo seeder. The seeder still works correctly. Good. Let's go back. Let's go back to events. Let's go to add event. That's not going to be a problem, of course. Let's go into the event. None of this is dynamic yet, so that's not going to be a problem. So yeah, none of this is really going to be a problem. I think the first issue is really going to be more about when I go to attendees. I don't even think this is going to be an issue. So let's just say Jess Archer, and we got some people in the chat here. Let's just say the last commenter here. You're invited to the party. Okay, so those are going to get added, of course. So let's get rid of that DD real quick. Register attendees. Let's drop the DD and see if it actually puts these in the way we want. Although I can already tell you it won't because that needs to be fillable. All right, let's go back and refresh this one more time. Okay, so it registered attendees. Again, not very pretty, but to that point, let's just do PHP artisan tinker attendee all. There we are. Jess Archer and Will Rowe got added to that event. So that's working the way we want. So I think what we'll do is, if you really wanted, let's see here, we got one more thing in the chat. If you really needed, you could add a way to tie multiple attendees to a single account later on. Oh yeah, absolutely. You could, yeah, we could definitely clean this up. I don't think it'd be very hard to like turn those people into users with, you know, no password kind of thing and make them go through the password reset flow. I've done that with my courses plenty of times where like I've turned guest users into users. So I don't think it's a hard thing to quote unquote fix if I outgrew that. I don't even know if this is ever going to be launched, so I'm not super worried about that right now. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do tonight, let's go back to the little README. What I'll try to do before tomorrow's live stream is these pieces, probably not that, but probably these pieces, and then we need to review the authorization layer. And I think we'll do this together tomorrow. So if I can get the authorization layer working, I think the goal is tomorrow. Today was more of a recap, so tomorrow is going to be like authorization. And then that's basically like attendee can add photo. And then I think what I'll do Thursday is we'll mess with Livewire a little bit on Thursday. So Livewire, dynamic photo upload. So make those photo uploads just a little bit cleaner. So I think those will be the jam Thursday. And I may do, depends on when Laravel 9 is released. It might get pushed back. If it's pushed back next week, I might do one final thing where like we upgrade to L9. Maybe we use the workbench to refactor, you know, stuff like that. So I'll do a few more streams, and then I'm probably going to switch gears to some other stuff. Again, this may never see the light of day. So once we kind of build out some of these pieces and get to the polish down here, I'll probably leave it at that. So anyway, thank you all for joining live. Hopefully I see you all tomorrow, same time, same place.